Cano and Gabriel Peinado. 5-2 for Cano, 2-1 for the El Paso, Texas native. 7-year age differential, with Cano being the elder, but they are both 5'7" and came in at the combat corner bantamweight limit. Let's send it back inside now to handsome Michael Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC bantamweight division, sponsored by Combat Corner. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a striker. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and officially weighed in at 135.2 pounds. He comes in tonight with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. Damas y caballeros, de Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. Now he lives and fights out of El Paso, Texas, Gabriel Peinado. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and officially weighed in at 135.8 pounds. And he comes in tonight with a record of 5 victories with 2 defeats. He is fighting out of Glenwood Springs, Colorado, Felix Cano. And your referee in charge is Aaron Oliveras.
Aaron Oliveras, third man inside for this bantamweight affair. Felix Cano, Gabriel Peinado, both making the APFC debut. But again, in our first fight, only one man can be victorious, David.
I'm excited about this one. Both of these guys seems pretty fierce and intense. Just ready to get to the center of the cage, and here we go, Ben.
Round 1 underway. Felix Cano in the red gloves with the black trunks. Gabriel Peinado in the blue gloves and the black trunks. Nice leg kick there from Peinado.
Cano just coming in, seems to be much more of an aggressor as he's just leading the fight right now. However, Peinado seems to be comfortable on the outside, just picking apart his opponent, moving. Great angle so far. However, Cano's landing that jab and working his way in range.
Great distance management through 30 seconds from Felix Cano. And I like the touches downstairs, right? Focusing on the midsection so early in round 1.
Nice job there with the level change. Set it up with the jab and the left hook to the body. Got his opponent kind of looking down, looking for the body shot, but then inserted in right into that double leg, and now has his opponent against the cage. Now Peinado turns the tables here.
Good work from the 18-year-old Gabriel Peinado to reverse that position, and now lands a nice jab. 7-year age differential, David. How does that play into this?
You know, I mean, age really doesn't. It's all about experience. You know, you can be 21 with 5 years of experience versus a 35-year-old guy with 2 years of experience. It's about cage time more than anything. When we look at these guys so early in their career, we can tell almost immediately they both have the cage time, and it's a very evenly contested matchup.
Gabriel Peinado trying to stay upright here. Great recognition to try and address the takedown. Staying tall, right? Balancing his way through as we approach the midway point of round number 1.
Cano doing a great job with the double leg here. He has his arms under the butt there of Peinado. However, he's unable to kind of get him off balance and execute the finish. Peinado did a great job, maintained good posture, didn't get ahead of himself. Now he's working out, and now he's ready to do some work of his own, Ben.
The 18-year-old Gabriel Peinado landing some significant strikes upstairs on Cano.
Beautiful slip and rip there with the right hook to the body by Peinado. I'm just loving. He's looking very seasoned in his striking here.
A lot of those short rear uppercuts from Peinado to that liver of Felix Cano. Cano landing a head kick there. Caught by Peinado. Oh! Gabo in on a submission attempt, gets reversed.
Beautiful exchange there by both of these guys. Cano landing the head kick. Peinado catching it, able to trip and dump his opponent on his back. However, he's going to work. Possibly looking for the armbar. I don't think he's going to get it as Cano is able to circle out, and he ends up in an advantageous position here on top.
20 seconds left in round number 1. A lot of energy expended by both guys. Pretty even so far, I would say as well, David. No one has really pulled away with this fight.
Pretty even. These guys are comfortable, it seems, fighting everywhere. Peinado ended up in a not so good of a position there on bottom. However, looking for the inverted triangles. He's still working. Cano's on top looking for the ground and pound. Neither one of these guys want to give an inch to their opponent.
Round number 1 comes to a close. Felix Cano and Gabriel Peinado heading back to their corners. If you were cornering Felix Cano tonight, what would be the suggestions ahead of round 2?
I don't think either one of these guys need to change anything in particular. It's such an evenly contested matchup. Cano, he came out a bit aggressive and kind of ran into some counter shots. Outside of that, I would just say, hey, maybe let's be a little bit more patient. He landed some great counters, but so did his opponent. He just he's leading with his head. He maybe sit back a little bit and look for windows. Beautiful right kick there by Cano. However, Peinado able to catch it. Beautiful Muay Thai dump, goes for the throat almost immediately, but then Cano makes adjustments. Both of these guys are able to make the adjustments in the moment, which tells me, you know, even though they're very young, both of these guys have a very, very high cage IQ.
A little bit of forgetting the position over submission as Gabo went for that rear naked choke. Round number 2 between Felix Cano and Gabriel Peinado underway.
As we saw in the first round, Cano was a little bit more aggressive, came in throwing the jabs as he does to the body, moving forward. However, it can be a bit deceiving because Peinado is a great counter striker. We saw some beautiful slips and rips to the body, slip and rip to the head. And I mean, at any moment, it seems like one of these guys could hit the canvas.
Oh, nice right hand from Cano as he digs in for a power takedown early in round 2.
That aggression paid off there by Cano, able to change levels, get to that double leg. Now he's on top in the mount position. As we saw in the last round, however, Peinado reminds me a bit of a veteran we have here named Manny Sanchez, a guy that can fight from anywhere and everywhere. You think you're in an advantageous position, and he's throwing up inverted triangles. I don't see either one of these guys giving up at any moment of this fight.
Nice scramble from both. Cano trying to bring Peinado back to the mat.
Cano tried that reverse judo trip here. However, Peinado was able to maintain balance.
2 minutes left in round number 2. Peinado still staying strong.
Cano with a traditional wrestling ride, looking to chop the arm. Peinado able to kind of roll into a better position in the guard here, and let's see where he works from the bottom position.
Light ground and pound from Cano. His mixed martial arts journey began by always looking up to his older brother who was involved in wrestling and mixed martial arts during his youth and has really taken that in stride, David. Fighting's in the family.
So far, we mentioned how evenly contested this matchup has been, but I do think at this point it's the wrestling that's kind of pulling out ahead here for Cano. We saw some beautiful takedown attempts, however, beautiful counter there by Peinado, able to get back to his feet, lands a short elbow on the exit.
Cano trying to respond with a stiff jab, rotating around the center of the ring. Minute left in round 2, and Peinado does have a bit of an opportunity here to try and steal the round.
He has a minute here to work and kind of advance here with Cano. I look for Cano to maybe get back into his wrestling, which kind of separated and created some space here. So look for him to play up top, but when he sees that moment, he'll probably change levels and go for that double leg, which has been so successful for him.
Cano displaying a little bit of labored body language here in the final moments of round number 2. Seems like he's a bit uncomfortable on the back foot when he's not the aggressor. He doesn't seem to have as many answers as he does secure that takedown.
I agree with you, Ben. I mean, he's been so aggressive from the first stanza of this fight, and it's paid off for him. However, that's a very hard pace to maintain over 3 rounds. And I think what it is more than anything, I don't think he's overwhelmed as much as he is just tired from constantly moving forward. It's kind of like a gift and a curse.
Is there that risk and reward argument because of all the energy expended from Cano to get Peinado to the mat, to keep him on the ground, but not as much significant damage as you'd expect?
Well, that's the difference between a professional and an amateur fighter. So when you become a professional, you learn how to manage your output, you know. As a young fighter, you're able to just kind of get in there and you just want to be aggressive, you want to get out in front. However, when you get to the higher levels of this sport, it's about managing risks, making decisions in the moment, and he'll learn that as time comes.
3 minutes remain in this bout. Will the young upstart, Felix Cano, be able to find his 4th victory in a row, or can Gabriel Peinado get back-to-back wins? Here's another look at that takedown from Felix. David, you're quite the wrestler. Is that a pretty solid one?
That was pretty solid. He did a great job of feinting the jab, which he had some success with earlier. Got his opponent to react, stepped in, didn't go to his knees, drove through with the power double leg, and was able to to get in a better position in the mount position where it seems he wants to be in this fight. I think whenever he's there, he seems to be in control. As Peinado's kind of working his way back into this fight on his feet, not even from just a counter perspective, but offensively.
Round 3 underway. Final several minutes of this fight as Cano digs downstairs immediately. Peinado touching the chin.
Nice 1-2 counter there by Peinado. We see Cano just feinting that shot, looking to come up top. Beautiful job hitting the angle on the exit there. Short right hand, not loading it up, making it a bit hard for his opponent to see.
Right, and that's a strike that Cano really hasn't leveraged through those first 2 rounds, right? That's just straight right down the middle, so.
Which is surprising because as dominant as a wrestler as he is, that's typically what you see from power
the right
wrestlers.
Overhand,
the
yeah.
Beautiful right overhand, looking to get into their shots, but he's kind of working in reverse engineering, setting up his shots, which has his opponent a bit reluctant to kind of engage too much, and then it's working his hands into the fight, and now we're back to where he wants to be, on top, half guard position.
Felix Cano, growing up in Colorado, surrounded by so many interesting recreational extracurriculars. Big rodeo guy, as he told us, David Evans, was a huge lassoer with the steers and all of that up in Colorado. Not territory I'm super familiar with, but it looks like he's lassoing the youngster Gabriel Peinado here in round number 3 as Peinado's coming forward.
However, Peinado's still in this, coming back, throwing combinations as he's able to work out of that position, which, you know, that kind of does some damage to your opponent. You're in a bad position, you're able to get up and you're coming back. He's staring in his opponent's face, and, you know, that could wear on Cano, even though it seems like he's out ahead so far.
90 seconds left in this 3rd and final round between Felix Cano and Gabriel Peinado. Seems like some more intensity and urgency from the youngster Peinado, as he might have clipped Cano.
Nice shot there by Cano. Both of these guys just going at it. Nice outside trip right into the double leg here for Cano. I mean, at this point, that double leg has been money for him, and it saved him from some precarious positions.
And at this stage of the 3rd round, path of least resistance is planting Peinado into the canvas and keeping him there, David.
Yes, getting a lot of control time with the wrestling here is Cano. However, Peinado is never out of this fight. He's constantly moving. He's constantly looking to advance off of his back, even inside control. As we saw, he's not someone that's going to waver easily.
Interesting entanglement here. 30 seconds to go. Peinado desperately trying to build back to the feet, find some separation. Can he make some magic with it? Whiffs on the right hand. Now Peinado going for a takedown of his own.
Cano looked at the clock there shortly as Peinado was working in on the double leg. Nice, beautiful chain wrestling, by Cano. Not able to solidify the takedown, but an answer nonetheless.
Cano and Peinado swinging to end this 3rd and final round. Big right hand from Cabo at the end of that frame, but I believe the sustained dominance and the grappling efforts from Felix Cano will lead to his 4th victory in a row, David.
I agree with you, Ben. The beautiful double leg takedowns, I mean, just from anywhere and everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. The judges scored the contest 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27, all for your winner by unanimous decision out of the red corner, Felix Cano.
Felix Cano now 6-2 as an amateur. Fantastic night here in New Mexico, and now he speaks with David Evans.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Felix Cano. Man, I mean, that was an impressive fight. Your opponent never wavered at any minute. Were you expecting him to be as tough and as tall as a task as he was?
You know, he was a tough kid. He just fought 5 weeks ago, so I knew he was going to come in to fight. He took my fight. I'm not an easy fight to take, so respect. But we came in, got the job done.
Can you walk me through that fight technically and your preparation? Knowing your opponent was tough, what was your strategy going into this one?
You know, I knew he was a boxer. He had a few boxing fights, so I tried to clean up my hands. You know, that wasn't my best performance. I want to show more. I want to finish fights. I want to come in. You saw me push the pace all 9 minutes. You know, I'm going to come in, work my ass off, and, you know, let's go. Let's keep wrapping them up.
Not your best performance, but we were definitely impressed. I think the most impressive thing was how you transitioned into your wrestling, your double leg takedown attempts. Even when you didn't land them, you just stayed to it. Can you speak to your wrestling prowess here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's my base. I came in as a wrestler, but I'm a well-rounded martial artist. I'm gonna come in, show my entire skill set, and I think, you know, I was able to show portions of that, just transitioning between all portions of martial arts. You know, I'm just gonna keep getting better. If you keep giving me opportunities, I'm gonna show up and put on a performance for you. I'm gonna put on shows every single time.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Felix Cano.
Felix Cano notching his 4th straight victory, 6th overall. What a performance from that prospect. I am sure we will see him back inside the APFC cage.